this is Ashen. I'm an extrasensory psychic, shaman, completion process facilitator, heart space coach, and parts work facilitator. And today we're going to be talking about what is an extrasensory and psychic. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my experience with this, and as well some real life psychic experiences, what they actually look like, and believe me, I have had some of the more extreme ones. So let's get started. Please give me a like and subscribe because you know that we're friends and stuff. So let's do this. So, an extrasensory. In a universe where we are all one, we are all connected, we are an extension of the universe itself, we are an expression of the universe itself, an extrasensory is simply somebody who is attuned, turned on. They're essentially running to hyper-focus and take in information that many humans have shut off and disconnected from, but an extrasensory is simply someone who is actually accessing universal information that is always accessible to everybody. And it just depends on the degree to which people are doing it that makes them more psychic or more extrasensory. And this also depends on how much somebody has chosen in to be this way so that they don't upset their natural life, right? Because a lot of the things that we're not picking up on from the multidimensional universe, a lot of that has to do with actually protecting us from being overwhelmed in our life and from not being able to be grounded in our reality. Like, for example, a lot of people, if they're living their day-to-day life, they would get really distracted and overwhelmed if they started seeing auras and fairies and the multidimensional universe. And it would make it so much harder to actually distinguish the human things that most of us are struggling with, like our sex life and how we feel about our body and our health, right? These are the very grounded, basic root chakra things that most of us are struggling with right now, where we are as a human collective. So yeah, let's not throw on universal energies and universal beings and multidimensional verses that have their own chakras and meridians and energy centers, right? Like, we're struggling just to figure out Earth. Let's not throw a multidimensional universe on top of it. So I'm going to give you an example on a deeper understanding of what an extrasensory is. I want you to think of the universe as a big tree. And the humans, all the way at the bottom, are individual roots. Even more so, we are one root coming off of, like, we as a human race are one root coming off of this tree, and the multiple roots coming off of that one root, one of those sections is us as an individual. And even an extension to that, there are more roots coming off of those subroots that are our body and our antennas and our nervous system and things like that. So things that differentiate us as an individual even. But we are a part of a larger root system, and the universe is our tree. Because we are physically connected to that tree, we are in a physical extension of that tree, it only makes sense that when someone hits the tree trunk, the root feels it, right? There are nerves connecting that tree to the root so that the root knows if the tree is in danger, and vice versa, that if something happens to the root, the tree is aware of it as well, right? Because we are physically connected. We are a physical organism that is an extension of one another. We are literally a microcosmic mirror to the macrocosmic universe. We are quite literally our own little mini universe within a larger universe, from big to small. We are connected through our heart space, through a literal black hole universe. And you can go to my YouTube video on the heart space to understand more about that. And I'm gonna link that below. I was born extremely extrasensory. I was born with a very sensitive nervous system. As a child, I was seeing ghosts, I was seeing auras, I was seeing energy, I was seeing vortexes in the multidimensional universe and talking about aliens and things like this. And my mom thought it was cool because she was into that stuff. And it freaked me out. It freaked me out. And as an extrasensory, I felt very different from the rest of the world and the universe and the people. And I had a very hard time with my sensitive nervous system, and also as a neurodivergent, to learn how to socialize and learn how to just be a part of this natural human world. And I was always off by myself, feeling all these things and processing all these things, and just like I felt like this wallflower because I felt like no one understood the depth that I was as a child. Like I had more depth than most of the adults in my life by far, emotionally and mentally. Before I continue to explain what an extrasensory is and also how to become an extrasensory or how to deepen your extrasensory abilities, I want to talk about, as an example, what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. So when I look around me, like right now, what I'm seeing is energy moving all around me. I can see physical energy. Like where you guys are seeing air, I am seeing movement. I am seeing vortexes. I am seeing the way that the energy is moving in all space. I always see the space around me in constant motion. And there are many different energy things that I see in those areas. So when I was a little kid, I used to close my eyes, or sometimes even with my eyes open, I used to see mantras and sacred geometry that was moving like vortexes, and I would be astral projecting through the vortexes in the sacred geometry. I was calling in angels and seeing angels and talking to angels at a very young age, and actually they were the only things that helped me feel safe because I was very ungrounded. When I look around on my daily life, I see auras, and there's multiple different layers to auras. There's just the crystalline color that is surrounding everything, including inanimate objects and animals and things, and it's just very thin. And then there's a larger version of that same crystalline one. It's much larger, about 6 feet. This is the one I don't see that often. And then there's always a blue neon line and an orangey yellow neon line surrounding all things. And this represents the sky and the human world coming together. So blue represents the sky, and that represents the multidimensional universe, and orange represents the sacral chakra and humanity and the sexuality of humanity. Because we are sexual beings and we are sacral beings. Another thing that I'm seeing on a daily basis is vortexes that are opening up on a daily basis. This is a very common one, is I'll see black hole vortexes in the air around me, from large humongous ones that are in the sky to smaller patterns in front of me that are literally moving like the flower of life. I've seen glowing orbs the size of my fist, and I've seen like fairies. So I'm clearly very clairvoyant, but I would say more than anything I'm claircognizant and clairsentient, because these are the ones where I am constantly able to tell what people are thinking or feeling around me. Through my clairsentience, I can feel in my body things that have happened in their past, or, you know, a lot of information that they don't actually know about themselves. So like if someone has a certain shadow, or if someone has a certain disposition towards life, or if someone has a certain setback, or their guides want them to know this, or they have this, you know, starseed lineage. I am constantly just absorbing information about people like a book through my nervous system. I'm just feeling in my heart space, in my body, what it feels like to be them. And basically, the way I can describe it, it's like feeling myself become the information, but recognizing that that information actually belongs to them. So that happens a lot through clairsentience and claircognition, and that's something that I'm constantly tuning into. And then the next one is clairaudience. Okay, I have physically heard a glowing orb the size of my hand outside of my window talking to me. I was talking to Arcturus Ra and Krista Riza, and they were saying that it was an alien that projected its consciousness in the form of a ball to talk to me. I was in my room and I was completely sober, just want to say that. And basically I heard, Ashley, look at Ashley. And I looked and I saw it, and then it was gone, and that was it. Another time I was working with my shaman, and I heard a female voice talking to me, and I was like, was your computer on or something? And my shaman was like, no. And I was like, well, did you say something just now? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, because I just heard a female voice talking to me. Cool. Another experience that I've had is astral projecting. I have astral projected to the Hathorian planet Venus before. I was rolling down a hill, and this time I was drunk. And I basically, as I was rolling down the hill, I astral projected into the sky and to their planet, which was awesome because they have a lot of energy and they are very loving and party kind of focused. I started communicating with my starseed guides and my angels on a daily basis when I was around 19, when I started entering my heart space. There are two types of extrasensories. We're gonna categorize it in two major ways. So one way is that people are splitting from their physical body and they are entering the multidimensional universe. So they're entering a higher self version of themselves. They're literally disconnecting from their physicality and they're just kind of going into the higher dimensional worlds. The way that I would recommend to connect to extrasensory abilities is this way, and that's through being grounded and without actually disconnecting from your body. And how you do that is you start by really grounding yourself and doing shadow work and getting in reality with the world around you. Get grounded in your body through being in nature and through moving your body and through eating healthy. When life is painful or when it sucks, that's when we want to escape it, right? But no matter how much it sucks, I want you to come into acceptance with your reality and ground into your body. And from there, we can become attuned to the world around us and start receiving that deeper information. Now, I want to break down extrasensory for you. Extrasensory. Okay, so that means that we're literally talking about the 5 senses and beyond. So we're literally talking about the extra sense of sight. So seeing beyond what most humans are seeing, hearing beyond what most humans are hearing, clairaudience, right? Feeling beyond what most humans are feeling, clairsentience. That's all it is it's an extra sensory. So it's picking up senses beyond what is natural to humans. And really becoming extrasensory is really just about attuning to the world around us through our heart space. Remember that tree, we're all connected through our hearts, through our emotional bodies. When we become attuned to the world around us, we can feel and receive it on a deeper level, that root connection to the tree. So become more sensitive and more aware of the world around you through entering your heart space, that deep place within you that connects you to all universal beings. That is how you get connected. You can access your extrasensory abilities through your heart space, as I said, because our heart chakras are connected to the Earth's heart chakra. And you can also access extra abilities through your root chakra, through your Earth chakra, through all of your chakras, your third eye, through your nervous system, through your emotional body. Extrasensory abilities can be accessed and turned on through multiple different avenues of your systems. So a really amazing way to turn on your extrasensory abilities is to start watching the cosmos, to go out and watch the sunrise, to go out and watch the sunset, to watch blue skies, to observe the sunlight, to observe light, to get out into nature, but very specifically to watch the sky, the way the sky looks and the way the sky is moving and how the sun is interacting with the sky and the air. These are the closest things that we have on this physical planet, light itself and water itself. But these are the closest things that we have on this physical planet to what the multidimensional universe is doing and what that looks like. But it also just activates your third eye like crazy. And just raise your vibration. Going into your emotional body takes you closer to your heart space, and that is automatically going to connect you to the world around you. But really just raising your vibration in any way possible. I want you to really see extrasensory abilities or psychic abilities just as a superhuman computer that you already are, and you're just turning the software on, right? So just raise your vibe, enter your heart space, and you're going to be accessing naturally all of these things. And how you become more psychic is you stop trying to be psychic and start observing where you already are psychic and how you work. Everybody is psychic in a different way, and everybody is going to be more attuned to psychic abilities in a different way. So if I notice, okay, I'm picking up this psychic information through this avenue and through this way, and this kind of is making me more psychic, then that's your way of being psychic, right? Because everybody's gonna have different ways to access their psychic abilities. So it's really about acknowledging where you are. And then it's just accessing your own internal knowing. A lot of the time people want these Hollywood fireworks with psychic abilities, but it's actually the more subtle layers of psychic abilities that are the most profound and the most useful. And they're the ones that make the most sense. And so you also have to question, what is my ego looking to do when I want to become psychic? Because when we have these ego shadow motives for wanting to be more psychic, it's going to block your abilities, and it's going to be shadow abilities when they do come. You get to want this. This is a desire that you get to want, but become aware of your shadow motives so that you can actually question if this is the way you want to go about it and how you want to go about it instead. I want you to know that it doesn't have to be Hollywood effects in order to get the information. Just allow yourself to feel your guides in your heart. Just allow yourself to let them telepathically speak to you. So you don't have to clairaudiently hear it or visually see them for you to kind of connect with their thought pattern through telepathy, which is really just the easiest form of communication with guides possible. And for that, you have to get out of your own head. You have to get out of, oh, what if it's just me doing this or blah, blah, blah. No, we are connected, right? If you set your intention to go into a pure heart space intention and vibe, and then you say, okay, I just want to channel this guide through me, you can just do that, and you can know that it's not your ego. And yes, a lot of the time what our guides are saying is things that we would think ourselves or things that we could easily access and think up ourselves. that doesn't mean that it's not your guides speaking to you or confirming things for you or giving you empowerment. You have the ability to talk to your guides right here, right now. So I want you to just close your eyes and ask your guides to come in, to feel what they feel like in your heart, and to ask them to send you a message about your life, something that you need confirmation on, something that you need to know. Really feel what they emotionally feel like, really feel what kind of light energy their aura has, kind of sense, is there a sound or a taste or, something that you associate with their vibration that will help you connect to them better? Like maybe it's gonna sound like wind chimes or hummingbirds' wings or the fresh scent of rain, right? So really just close your eyes and receive from the universe what your guides are currently telling you, and trust that you are psychic, that you can do this. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time.